A great moment in sport. Andrew Demetriou is the Chief Executive of the AFL, in charge of everything. Good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
You've won Tats Lotto, haven't you?
Look, as you said, it was one of the great moments in sport, Neil. To be there as a spectator was amazing. To be there in my role was a privilege. It was just incredible. And to see the faces on people after the game and the players on the ground and the coaches. And I went into town after the game and people were, genuinely happy. It was Collingwood and St Kilda supporters, so it was great.
That's the point I'm making, no point grizzling about it. I mean, this is a great moment. We'll look back on this and say how terrific it was. And somebody's holiday's cancelled, so be it.
Yeah, well, I made the point yesterday at the press conference that we did to advise of certain planning that whoever was there will never forget the moment now. It was one of the most memorable moments, and you just got to bottle that up and just remember it, because what we have now in store is a replay with two teams, but we've got no idea who's going to win now. People had ideas last week, but they are so even, and the uncertainty of sport has thrown up this incredible contest this Saturday.
How much will it mean to the AFL? How many dollars coming?
Well, we've yet to determine that, because we're now going through the issues, Neil, around looking after our clubs. I mean, we've got to compensate the two clubs participating. They've cancelled things. We've got our players who are participating.
So the players will get paid more, will they?
Certainly the clubs and the players are entitled to get something, Neil, because they are putting on another game. We'll work through those issues today. We've got to work out with the MCC rentals and so forth. But there'll be a substantial amount of income that comes through the AFL, and for us as a non-profit organisation, it allows us to redirect that back into the things that we love dearly, which is things like facilities, our grassroots programs, development programs.
The clubs and the players being compensated. What about the fans? What about some cheaper tickets?
Neil, we looked at I can tell you now what we will be doing is providing some tickets, Neil, for people who would never get a chance to see a grand final. And
who are they? What do you mean?
People, which we'll announce later in the week, but people who we think shouldn't pay anything. People who just give them a special moment now.
Well, just before, I know you don't want to preempt your announcement, but it's exactly the point I was making earlier. It's a big windfall for the AFL. It'd be terrific to have a number of seats set aside either for underprivileged people, for kids. I was talking to Jimmy Steins about it, so you get some reach kids along.
Absolutely. So you're on the right wavelength there.
There will be some sort of...
Absolutely, because it's the opportunity we've got. I mean, I think as we sit here now, I don't know whether we will sell this game out, because it is a tall order to ask people to spend the amount of money again, but I think there'll be some tickets spare, and even if there's not, we'll make some available to make sure that people who would never get a chance to see it, a certain number will get a chance to see it.
Any idea how many, roughly?
I'll let you know after 10 o'clock this morning. I've got a meeting about all these issues.
Okay. Did you really expect a draw?
Look, Neil, I often talk about a draw in jest, but, the St Kilda Football Club averages against it all year 70 points. They've got the best defensive team of any in the AFL. And if you look at the scores, Collingwood kicked 68. So I always thought it was going to be a lot closer than people were expecting. I mean, people thought Collingwood, because the week before, were going to come out and blow St Kilda away. And even at half-time, a lot of the St Kilda supporters around where we were sitting thought it was doom and gloom. And I actually made the point that St Kilda are going to come back here. They are a great team, particularly in the second half. So if ever there was going to be a draw, Neil, this was the week. So who knows?
That 10 a.m. meeting, will that decide just what goes to the club? Because how much extra will the players make, or is that up to the clubs?
No, certainly at that 10 o'clock meeting we'll go through all the issues. We've asked the clubs to submit where they're out of pocket this week, because they've had to cancel events, Neil. The people have cancelled holidays and etc., etc. So the clubs are submitting that. We'll get all that information. It'll probably take us a day or two to work through it all.
Will there be more prize money?
Possibly. That's one option that we're looking at, because obviously there was prize money last week, Neil, which hasn't been distributed yet. I think it's $1.1 million or thereabouts for the winner, and half of that for the second place getter. So there's already a pool of money that hasn't been distributed yet.
See, the MCC say they pay you $4.5 million for tickets for the members. So presumably, whatever the amount that's coming into you, I've seen 20 to 25 million estimated, and you say that's not accurate, but it's going to be many millions, isn't it?
Look, it will, and it's certainly not the number you said, but it'll certainly be, in our view, probably north of 10.
Okay. When you say you distribute it, do you mean within the AFL structure to clubs and things, or would you look at making a payment, for example, to, I know there's been a lot of work done on domestic violence and these sort of, would you look at making a payment to a charity?
Again, that's one of the options that's on our agenda at 10 o'clock now. And as you know, we do a lot of that throughout the year. I've been inundated since Saturday with all sorts of charities. But, you know, the AFL does do a lot of work with the ladder program, certainly the homeless, which is to do with homelessness. That's something we are very keen to continue to support. So, again, Neil, I'm not wishing to preempt anything. That'll be a discussion at 10 o'clock.
Okay. The point is that the windfall will be shared around, and it'll be shared not just in football circles, by the sound.
Absolutely, because we think it's important to make sure that we try and put back into the community, Neil. It's something, regardless of the grand final replay, we're committed to. I think everyone knows, the AFL knows where we stand on various issues. So again, it's an opportunity to do lots of things.
Now, I know this, you don't need it, but one of your favourite charities, Andrew Demetriou, will do well out of this. Your contract's tied into attendances and money. You're going to get a bonus.
No, I can tell you honestly, Neil, I'm even happy to go to the chairman and say, disregard the replay.
Really? No bonus? Well, it'll be a bonus, but not
on a replay, Neil. No.
That could cost you a quid.
It doesn't matter, Neil.
No, you've got plenty.
I'm thinking about the game, Neil. It's a big game.
The pre-match, can we get Mike Brady there this time?
Don't know. I know that at 10 o'clock I'll get an update about a couple of potential massive acts we're trying to get, Neil, because in fairness to people who are buying a ticket, Neil, this week, $270, we won't be having a motorcade and all the other sorts of things. So we are thinking about putting on a sort of a small concert with a very large act, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, where scouring around to see who's available. If we could do that, at least there'll be some entertainment before the game. It won't be the traditional form of entertainment, but if you're going to be there, you just don't want to sit around for a couple of hours before the game. So, again, I'll have an update about that after 10.
AC decent?
I don't know whether they're available, but something large, something big would be great.
Will McKenna be there, or are they gone home?
Peter McKenna?
No, not Peter McKenna, the group. Singing Dennis Cometti's silly song.
No, they shouldn't be there. They didn't get a chance to belt it out, Neil. Gosh.
Did you consider a Twilight game?
Look, it was requested of us by the Seven Network, Twilight or night game, and I can understand why, and in some cases it got a run in the discussion. But what it all boiled down to, Neil, was this was a grand final. Should we experiment with something like a night or Twilight in a grand final as a replay? We thought it was best to try and replicate as best as possible, same umpires, same uniforms, same time, same venue, and that's why we fell upon the 2:30 start.
Inevitably, we've had a lot of calls about tickets. Just to get it clear, it's club members, Collingwood St Kilda club members. Correct. Today, and only online or on the phone? Yeah,
and that's because, for a couple of reasons. One is because we do the same with the ballot system for members. We encourage people to do that because of security issues around ticket tech queues, and also logistically, Neil, it's impossible to actually staff all the ticket tech outlets around Australia at such short notice for a replay. So if you haven't got a credit card, if you aren't online, if you're an elderly person, get someone to pick up the phone or go online and buy tickets for you, and it'll be much more efficient and much quicker.